Welcome on into our YouTube exclusive NFL playoff show presented by the Sports Forum. I'm Anthony Hirsch. I'm joined by Bryson Owens and Riggs Tamburo. Look, we're going to hop right into this. We got Super Wildcard Weekend. It's been exceptionally exciting ever since they've gone to this new format. Now we get a Monday night game. I mean, just to get 3 straight days of playoff football, it's unbelievable. There's so many great games to break down. Look, we're going to start this one off with the Browns versus Texans. Browns coming in here, slight favorites, -2.5 right there. Texans obviously snuck through, won their division, so they get the home game here. Look, I know Riggs and I have been going back and forth with this game. I'm on two very opposite sides of the aisle here. I'm going to start this thing out. I love the Texans here. Forget about the spread. I'm going to take them on the money line. I'm confident in C.J. Stroud. I've been talking my game about C.J. Stroud recently. If you guys know our Twitter, I think this is going to be a legacy game for C.J. Stroud. Look, I understand the Browns defense is phenomenal. I'm not going to deny that. One of the best defenses in all of freaking football. But I have faith in C.J. Stroud in that offense. We see with him in the lineup, with him under center, this is just an insanely explosive offense. You know, even with the Tank Dell injury, we're seeing Nico Collins really turn into a true number one receiver over there. I feel like Joe Flacco and this Browns offense is just really going to struggle to keep up in the points game here. I absolutely love them straight up on the money line. I'm not even talking about the spread. Look, Bryson, where are you looking with this game? Do you see what I'm seeing, or do you maybe see Joe Flacco and the Browns taking a win in their first playoff game here?
I'm actually right there with you, Anthony, and I'm not going to bring up C.J. Stroud like you did because if you've watched the show, you know how much I love C.J. Stroud. I've been on him since before the draft. He's been one of my favorite players in the entire NFL this season, so I'm going to bring up other things outside of C.J. Stroud for this game. You talked about that Browns defense, and yes, one of the best defenses in football. It's phenomenal. At home. On the road, it's not very good. They give up 29.6 points per game on the road this season as a defense. And Houston is a tough place to play. That crowd is going to be raucous. It's going to be electric. I'm sure they'll have J.J. Watt coming out with the flag to get the fans hyped before the game. And then the Browns, just in general, not a good road team this year. They're 3-5 on the road. The Texans, good home team, 6-3. I really like a lot of the things they're doing. And this Browns offensive line, it was once touted as the best offensive line in football. They have really fallen off, and a lot of it's due to injuries. They've lost all 3 of their starting tackles, Jedrick Wills, DeJuan Jones, and Jack Conklin. Ethan Posich, their starting center, he's questionable going into this game. They finished the season 22nd on Pro Football Focus's ranking. And the Texans, to their credit, this defense gets at the quarterback. They're top 5 in the NFL in pass rush win percentage. They're top 10 in the NFL in sacks. Will Anderson Jr. is a monster off the edge, and he's going to make his presence known in this game. They stop the run really well, which is what the Browns want to do on offense. So I think this is a really good matchup for the Texans at home with that home crowd. I'm with you, Anthony. I like the Texans in this game.
Oh, gentlemen. Thank you for leaving the door open for me to come up in here and ruin the party. Look, guys, this is Browns all day long. I'm hearing what you're saying. You both make some great points here, guys. But look, Joe Flacco right now, the guy gets better every single game. I was even skeptical when they went and got Joe Flacco. I was like, why the hell are we bringing Joe Flacco in here? But as a Steelers fan, I was like, please do it. The guy sucks. Can't wait to see it. Well, what do you know? Was I wrong? Joe Flacco looks phenomenal in all 4 of his wins with the team so far. He's thrown for over 300 yards. C.J. Stroud hasn't thrown for 300 yards since week 12. These quarterbacks are not on the same level. And I know a lot of people, well, CJ's this, CJ's that. Give Joe Flacco his flowers at this point. Bryson, you mentioned that defense. You guys both mentioned the defense. Yes, they do struggle a little bit on the road here, but I truly believe that the Browns defense is the better defense. I know they give up more points than the Texans do, just barely, which is actually kind of surprising. But I just think that there's too many injuries for the Texans right now. Devin Singletary, he's a good running back. He's not a great running back. I think the Browns can stop him. Obviously, got that shoulder injury. Myles Garrett's a little bit questionable, a little bit beat up right now. If he doesn't play, that makes my pick a hell of a lot more scary. And I think we find ourselves in a -110 pick'em game by game time. But I have to assume he knows how big this is. He knows that C.J. Stroud is going to have more time than they want to give him if he doesn't play. I think Myles Garrett's going to man up, put a shot in that shoulder, wrap that thing up, and go play football here. So I got to go with Joe Flacco and the boys. To top it off, the public and you guys, everybody likes the Texans in this game. I don't blame them, but I think it's a trap game here. It's going to be close. It could go either way. I got this one finishing out 23-21. Cleveland Browns get this thing done, but I'm not going to lay any points in this game as I believe this game is going to be very, very close. One of the best games of the weekend, no doubt about it. Anthony, do you have any thoughts here, man, on that over-under of 44 and a half points, depending where you're looking?
It's interesting. We're talking so much about these two defenses, as we should, because they are two great defenses coming into this one. But ever since Flacco's come in there, into Cleveland, their over's been hitting like crazy, actually. I mean, they're scoring a ton of points. I actually feel like if the Texans want to have a shot in this game, their recipe for success is holding this team under 20 points. If they're able to get even to 21, because I agree with you, I do think this is going to be a very close game. I see like a 21-20 type finish here, which would keep you right under their 44. If this thing gets too far above 44, I think it's going to be really difficult for this Texans team, in all honesty, to keep up with Flacco. Because if this Browns team gets above that 25-26 mark, you have to think that Flacco's having a really good day tossing the football, probably over 300 yards there. I just don't see a way that they're able to keep up in that regard. So I'm going to be taking the under here. Bryson, how do you feel about this one?
I really like the over in this one. I think it's going to be a shootout. These are two quarterbacks playing at a really high level. I just mentioned the Browns' struggles on the road for a defense this year. They give up almost 30 points a game. Texans as a whole on defense, they give up just over 20. These are two offenses that are really clicking right now. My one concern with this is if it becomes too much of a shootout. The one thing Joe Flacco's done really poorly since he's been a Brown is he turns the ball over a lot. He has 8 interceptions in 5 games, and his one big wide receiver target, Amari Cooper, he's going to be flanked by Derek Stingley Jr. all year, who's had a phenomenal season. So my one concern is maybe Joe Flacco just has that game where he turns the ball over too much. But even with that, I think there's going to be a lot of points on the board in this game.
I'm jumping on board with Bryson here. I'm on the over. I said 23-21 on my article the other day. Wrote that one, guys. SportsForumDenver.com. Please go check that out. Got picks, props, totals, everything for you on that one. But it was 43 and a half when I wrote that article, now 44. And I took the over at 23-21. So I'm right there. I teeter-totter. But if I had to go either way, I would definitely lean over. I think if anything, one of these teams does get to 27 here. I kind of feel like that's the key number to win this game. But no matter what, I see both teams in the lower to mid 20s here. So I got to go over as well. But really quickly, guys, looking at your favorite touchdown scorers of the game, if everybody gets to pick one guy, I'm going to go first here. And by the way, I bet this guy on FanDuel. His odds are a hell of a lot better on FanDuel, BetMGM, Bet365, every book except DraftKings. DraftKings is going to try to rob you here because they know he's getting in. That is tight end Dalton Schultz for the Houston Texans. I might be on the Browns, but I got to go with one thing on the Texans to kind of cover my ass here. So I'm going to go Dalton Schultz. He's been pretty big in the passing game. I think he's going to catch around 4 to 6 balls in this game. We've seen him score when he gets 2 targets for 3 yards and he scores touchdowns. All eyes are going to be on Nico Collins here. Give me Dalton Schultz to sneak on in there and get CJ Stroud and easy tutty. Anthony, where are you going?
Man, I'm also looking at a tight end, but I'm looking at the tight end for the other side. I'm looking at David Njoku right there. This dude has been hot. I mean, it's just heating up like crazy. He went wild in week 17. It seems like Flacco and him have a really good relationship there. And as for the Texans middle linebackers, I don't have a whole lot of faith for them to keep up. I think this is going to be his number 1 target the entire game. At a plus 166 marker right there, I think you'd be crazy not to take him.
Bryson.
I like Nico Collins. You mentioned him, Riggs. They're going to be focused on Nico Collins all game. He led the team in touchdowns this year with 8. He's coming off a career game in a must-win situation with 9 catches, 195, and a touchdown. I expect him and CJ Stroud to be on the same page all game.
There you go, guys. Gonna be a fun one. Big one there on Saturday afternoon. Kicking off wild card weekend. Gonna be a lot of fun. And then you got to fly across the pond there, man. And you got a chilly one coming up in Kansas City. Supposed to be one of the coldest games in NFL history. Reportedly going to be right around 0 to -2 ish degrees. I would not want to be there. If I lived in Kansas City, instead of spending $1,000 to go to the game, I'd have my butt eating popcorn in a warm one at home. By the way, watching on Peacock, because you can't watch the game on regular TV because they felt like screwing the entire nation. So make sure you guys strap in, buy that Peacock $4.99 subscription. I'm not going to tell you another route to watch the game. You're going to have to figure that out by yourself. But, that's not I don't have the right to say that. So watch it on Peacock. Going to be a fun one. Dolphins, man, they are 4.5-point dogs on the road in Kansas City. I feel like everybody is writing off this Dolphins team. They've been underwhelming. They don't beat good teams. Could this be a spot, Bryson, where they finally break that streak, beat a good team? Because you never know with Kansas City at this point. You got the number 2 offense in Miami walking in here, and we've seen Kansas City's offense struggle a bit.
It is concerning with the way the Chiefs have been playing on offense all season, especially at the wide receiver position. It really wasn't until the last few weeks that Mahomes and Rashee Rice really felt a connection going. But I think that what they did find throughout the season is just how important Isaiah Pacheco is going to be in this game, because it's going to be freezing, like you mentioned, Riggs. I don't expect a lot of passing, and that's why I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. The Miami Dolphins, since 2017, they've played 10 games below 40 degrees. They've lost all 10. And Mike McDaniel and Tua have been around for 3 of those games. So these guys don't play well. They don't play well in cold weather football. They don't beat good teams like you mentioned. They have 1 win all season against a team above 500. And Tua is going into this game with all of his weapons questionable. Tyreek Hill is questionable. Raheem Mostert might not be able to play. Jalen Waddle's injured. His weapons are decimated. And give the Chiefs credit. They may not have the best receiver unit in the NFL, but they're healthy. They started to play well a little bit towards the end there, and they're at home in this game. So I don't see a way the Dolphins are going to come in here and upset the Chiefs.
Bryson, I want to go ahead and say one thing really quick, just to tap on what you said, man. And you said how many offensive weapons are hurt here. How about their defense? Their defense is banged up as can be too.
Yep.
Like, they are just coming in here in a bad situation. There's nothing like already being hurt and living in sunny Miami and having to take your ass to Kansas City at nighttime to play at Arrowhead. It just sounds like they're going to be unmotivated there, even though you have to assume that most of those guys are going to say, screw it, I'm going. You got to assume in the cold, their bodies are going to be hurting if they are banged up a bit. So I just want to throw that out there. Anthony, how you feeling about this game?
Man, I want to say the Dolphins. I honestly just got done watching that Hard Knocks, and there's a couple tearjerkers in there. You want to, you start pulling for them a little bit, but there's just no way I can. If my advice is if you're looking at Kansas City with the spread, graph as soon as you can, because I assume closer we get to game time, we're going to start getting more definite decisions about some of these guys, and it's not looking good. Xavier Howard, I don't see a way that he plays. Mostert, maybe, but even if he does play, you have to assume he's playing banged up. Tyreek, I truly do believe that there's an undisclosed Tyreek injury that they're not telling us about. I mean, soon after the house fire, we saw him in a walking boot and nothing was disclosed to the media, regarding that. Plus, you guys, he's been banged up, past couple of weeks here. It might not be a pretty game. I don't see the Chiefs even playing to the, their full potential. I see it being a very similar Kansas City Chiefs game. They put up 21 to 24 points. They get points when they need to, but they also have a lot of frustrating drives, a lot of drives that fizzle out, a lot of punts in this game. It's going to be a cold weather game. I don't see a whole lot of offense taking place right here. I got to go with the Chiefs. Look, they know how to play in the cold. They know how to play there in Arrowhead. Miami, like you said, Bryson, this team just really struggles in the cold. They were even making, a little bit of fun with it last year, and look how that came back to play. Get freaking decimated in the playoffs. I want to see this team go further, but it seems like every year – right around these, the last 3-4 weeks of the season, they really fizzle out like so bad to the point that they have to they're starting to question their offensive play calling. They're questioning how they do things on offense, do things on defense. It's not a recipe for success. It's not a recipe for long-term playoff success. I got to go with Kansas City here.
Ooh, man. I'm such in a toss-up here because when this game first dropped, 5 days ago, I was like, you know what? I like Miami in the points. And then the whole weather thing came out, and then I watched the line move from 3 to 3.5 to 4.5. And it's just all these indicators that are like, that doesn't help Miami. That doesn't help Miami. Nothing here is making me want to take Miami. I will say, I just mentioned it a minute ago. The one thing about Miami is their offense right now, second overall, 29.2 points a game. Kansas City, they're 15th overall, which is lower than you would think. 21.8 points a game. They basically score 8 points less a game. That's a lot of points. I don't care if they're on the road. I don't care if it's cold. The point is, and the thing is here, if Waddle plays and if Tyreek Hill play, it might be snowy. You might take away that deep ball a little bit, but you know what they're going to punish you with? It's that quick slant, quick screens, because if you let Tyreek Hill give you a little 1-2 move in the snow, you can't catch him as a defender. You're not going to keep up with him. He's going to shake you out of your boots. You're not going to be able to move as fast and make tackles. I think that's their recipe for success here is quick, short throws, get the ball out, keep the chains moving, keep that defense on the field. The number 2 overall defense versus the number 22 overall defense. It's crazy. It's like you would have never thought it. All of a sudden, Kansas City is the better defensive team and way behind on offense, and then it's the flip on the other side of the football. So, look, man, I do think one person that's going to step up in this game, we've been waiting for him, is Travis Kelce. He's been sleepy. It's been a downfall. You already know Taylor Swift's coming to the game. If his girl's in the crowd, he's not going to screw this up. I think Travis Kelce scores, hits us a quick snow angel, has fun. That's the difference in this game. I honestly believe that they might win this game by double digits. I could see them just kind of kicking their ass a little bit here. So I'm going to lean towards Kansas City to win. I'm not going to lay a spread in this game. I think if I was going to, I would take 4.5 points, honestly, just because you mentioned it. 24 points, 21 points, like they always score kind of thing. But I don't see how Miami don't put up 17 here. I mean, they got to at least keep it relatively close in this game, I would think, unless it's a pull away at the end and then they win 27-17 or something like that. So I believe this is at least a 4-point game heading into the fourth quarter. What happens from that point, I don't know. All I know is I am taking Kansas City to win this game. Now, 44 total points, Bryson. We just talked about the snow. Going to be tough, man. Do you think 44 with 2 offenses that can get going, is there a world that you can take the over here?
That's the really dangerous part because you mentioned Miami, number 2 in the NFL in scoring. And even though the Chiefs have been mediocre on offense all year, you have Mahomes, you have Andy Reid, you have Travis Kelce. They're good for a 30-point game at any point. So it's really dangerous when you take this under here, but that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be cold. I think it's going to be a lot of running the football. There's not going to be a lot of the clock stopping. It's going to eat possessions. And then I mentioned that the Dolphins struggle in the cold weather. Well, they also only put up 17 points per game in the cold weather as well. And this Kansas City defense, you mentioned it, Riggs, number 2 in the NFL in scoring. They only give up 17. I see it being like a 21-13 type game for the Chiefs.
Ooh, 21-13, way under. Anthony, are you with him there?
Man, I just don't see a way, with the struggles of Kansas City this year and just with the firepower, the potential firepower of Miami, which they have proven this year. I just don't see a way that one team doesn't get up to maybe that 27-point range, even in this cold weather. I think Rashid Rice, over their wide receiver, one time this year, this past 3-4 game stretch where he's found a little bit of consistency. Looks like he's not dropping the ball so freaking much. And it also looks like he's really good in these kind of short ball scenarios. If you give him the ball in these, 4 or 5 little out route screen passes, he can do a lot with open field. And I see them taking full advantage of that here this game. Whether it's, Patrick Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco in that offense or Miami's offense, you have to bet that one of them is going to have a good game. And if one of them has a good game, I see the overhit here.
Oh, man, this is a toss-up, but I have to go with Bryson once again. I got to go. I mean, you know what, honestly? You know what, guys? I lied. I'm going to go against both of you here. I considered it, but look, I like the over, and honestly, I don't like it by a lot, but I think it matters what number you're looking at. So I've seen the number at 43, and I've seen it all the way up to 44.5, and I think the sweet spot here is 24-20 Kansas City. So I'm going to go with the under if you can get it over 44, but if you're looking at that 43.5 number, I would lean over. I think either way, it's a toss-up here, but I'm going to play the number. depending on where you're looking. So I use about 10 sports books. I can find the number that I want. I'm going to go for the 44.5. I'm going to go under. But if that's not you, if you have one book and you're looking at a 43, I'm not saying I love it. Slam the over. I'm just saying I think there's no way you can go under if that's the number. I know Bryson disagrees. Bryson would tell you 21-13. It's under either way. Doesn't matter. Don't think about it. But that's a tough number, guys. I think that odds makers nailed that. They're forcing your hand. Mm-hmm. They know if there wasn't snow in this game, it'd be like 52.5. But at 43.5, 44.5, they're really making you think. Now, looking at some touchdown scores, I know it's a snowy one, but at the end of the day, we're all pretty much saying somewhere in the realm of 40 points-ish in this game. So, Anthony, if you could pick one guy to get in, who's your man?
I got to go with Isaiah Pacheco. I don't love the odds there. I would check across multiple sports books because I guarantee you can find that number a little bit closer to like minus 110, maybe even at plus money at some places. But it's hard to think that the Chiefs stay in this game. This is even a close game if he doesn't get in. This is a difference maker for this offense. When Isaiah Pacheco is in on offense, this offense goes from mediocre to be a pretty decent offense because he opens up the game in so many ways. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. Huge impact to this offense. Bryson, where are you looking with this one? You're looking at running backs or maybe taking a shot at a wide receiver here?
So I'm going to take my shot on a bit of a long shot, not the biggest long shot in the world, but I like Justin Watson down there for the Chiefs. I think this is going to be a situation where they get down in the red zone. The Dolphins are just loading up for a run. They know, everyone in the stadium knows it's going to Isaiah Pacheco. And he does a little play fake, drops his head. Everyone's confused. Watson wide open in the end zone. This is one of those games, snowy situation, not a whole lot of offense going around, where a weird player gets in. And Justin Watson, before Rashee Rice became like the go-to wide receiver, he was kind of sneaky Mahomes' favorite target on big plays. So I think Watson's worth at least a little bit.
Anthony, I do want to throw out there, man, I got your boy at minus 105 on FanDuel instead of minus 140 on DraftKings. So almost plus money there if you want to go find your boy. Bryson, I'm hearing what you're saying, man. You're onto something here. You're right. This is the exact game where it's everybody who we don't think is going to score is going to score here. It's tough to pick a running back for Miami because you just don't know which guy it's going to be. You actually can tell in this game that they believe A-Chain is more of the downhill hard runner in the snow, and they've made him the favorite over Mostert. I haven't seen him favored over Mostert in weeks. So that's kind of surprising to see him favored. Maybe that's a little tell there to take A-Chain over Mostert if you're on a running back here. But, there's one guy that I was going to say here, and I just cannot find him on this list. So he must be out. Jerick McKinnon. Speaking of guys that I think could sneak in, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. Everyone's on Pacheco, and he runs the whole drive, and they go, hey, Jerick, go ahead and take it, brother, on one of those, run across the middle, some super stupid little toss pass thing that they do on a motion or something, and he gets in and scores the touchdown. But you know what? I'm sticking with my guy. I'm going Travis Kelce. I know it's the boring pick, but it's plus money on DraftKings. It's even better plus money in other teams on other sites. I think Travis Kelce, the way that Anthony said Pacheco has to get in, I think Travis has to get in. And if he doesn't get in, he's got to catch the ball 10 plus times here. If he catches the ball 10 plus times, I'm going to take my chances here in a snow game where the linebackers are moving a little bit slow. Travis Kelce gets off on a good break there, gets inside on somebody, catches one, falls down, and hits that snow angel. So gonna go with those three guys. Best of luck to all of you in that one. Gonna be a wild one, a chilly one there on Peacock on Saturday night. I know you guys are shaking your heads like, what a joke. Yeah, it is a joke. But time to jump on over and talk about my favorite team of the weekend. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on the road. Like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm wearing blue. Taking on the Buffalo Bills. Man, the Buffalo Bills, the biggest favorite of the week. They are double-digit favorites, minus 10 in their own house. Over under in this game, pretty damn low, 36 total points. This is Sunday morning around 11 a.m. here. 1 o'clock in Buffalo. Shouldn't be much of a bad condition game. Should be pretty good out there. Both teams used to playing in it. Bryson, you look at this one, man. I'm going to go last here. I'm going to let you guys go first. Keep my bias out of it. Let you guys give me a case, and then I'll go ahead and make my case here. But 10 points, man, for Buffalo. Is that too many to lay with Josh Allen?
I don't know. That's really tough. 10 is a lot of points. I'm not one, even in the regular season, I'm not one to love double-digit favorites and bet on them. I think that's really tough to do in the NFL because I know everyone gets made fun of for when they lose. Oh, they suck. This team sucks. All that kind of stuff. These are NFL players, and there's pride on the line a lot of times, so it's tough to take a 10-point favorite. But man, it's really hard to bet on the Steelers in this game. So I don't love it, but when the Bills win, they win big. They tend to win by over double digits. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going into this game with no TJ Watt, which is huge for this team. Mike Tomlin is 1-10 when TJ Watt doesn't play. So that's a really big blow to that defense. Josh Allen, to his credit, I give him a lot of crap because he does some stupid things that I don't love. He turns the ball over way too much for my liking. Dude's been on a tear lately. He has been arguably the best quarterback in the NFL over the last 5 to 6 weeks. And this Pittsburgh defense all season kind of underperformed. You can move the ball on these guys. They're in the mid-teens to low 20s in a lot of defensive categories. You can put points on these guys. You can move the ball on them. And this Buffalo team, not a team I want to play, especially in Buffalo right now with how hot they are. So I don't love 10-point favorites, but I don't love the Steelers either. So I'm probably going to take the Bills to cover here.
Look, there's just no way in an NFL postseason game you could take 10 points on a spread. That's freaking ridiculous. I don't care what two teams are going at it. If the Patriots found a way to sneak in, I wouldn't take them on it, freaking fade them on 10 points.
Maybe.
Crazy. Especially with the Steelers team. When you look at the total here, you're telling me that you don't see them, you're seeing them scoring 36 points, but also winning by 10. That's a big, big freaking stretch for me, especially with how the Steelers have been playing since Rudolph has become the quarterback right there. Mason Rudolph, I mean, he's not going to be the flashiest quarterback out there. He's not going to put up flashy stats. But the thing is, he doesn't turn the ball over, and he does exactly what this team needs him to do. He is the perfect game manager. He might be good for only 175 and a touchdown or two per game. But if their running back room is going, if their defense is humming like we all know they can, then that is just enough to win a football game. I just don't agree with you, the Josh Allen thing either. Like, yes, I understand statistically, last couple of weeks have been looking better. 30 of 38, that's a good looking number. But visually, when I'm watching that game, I see those two picks that he threw. That looks like picks you throw, recess football, bell rings, you have to go back inside. Last play, you got to get the ball off. That's what that looks like to me. I mean, I've been saying this for a while now. I've been fading this Bills team. I've been fading Josh Allen, Sean McDermott for a little bit now. Sean McDermott actually made a little trip to our hot seat this past week. So make sure to check that out. But Josh Allen, I mean, I just don't see it. He's not the kind of guy that we have seen the past couple of years. I feel like he's regressed, if anything, then, every year he just looks a little bit worse. It seems like he really understands how much pressure is on him because the running back game, James Cook has kind of disappeared yet again. He had a good game or two right there, but then it's kind of right back down to he's going to get stuff and be held to an average around 2.5, which is just not good enough against a defense like the Steelers. Josh Allen in this game, to me, has to play a perfect game in order for this game to stay close. I'm not confident enough to take the Steelers to win outright. I'm sorry, Riggs. I would love to do it, but I just can't do it right here. But I will take them all freaking day on the spread. It is actually my favorite bet across all games this weekend. Riggs, how are you feeling about this? Yeah, I mean, how? It's 10 freaking points. Come on now. Like, I don't understand what odds makers are feeling. I don't understand what fans are thinking here. Riggs, I'm excited to see what you have to say about this game.
Yeah, Bryson, before I go, do you have any counter to that? I could tell there was something you might have wanted to say there.
I just wanted to back up my Josh Allen point. It hasn't been pretty. He has his games. He's been a turnover machine this year, I know. He does lead league in total touchdowns this year too. He has 45 touchdowns. And even if James Cook isn't rolling, the dude takes it himself. He's basically a running back at the quarterback position, who, by the way, could throw for 350 yards whenever he wanted. So I know it hasn't been pretty. He's gotten his shit this season because of his up and down play. Josh Allen, I think he's looked as bit of an MVP as Lamar Jackson this year.
Ooh, whoa. Oh, no. Hold the phone. Whoa, Bryson, you had me till that last sentence, my brother. And then, come on. Come on, bro. Look. No wonder he threw 45 touchdowns. You throw the ball, F it, he down there somewhere. You do that enough, you're going to score 45 touchdowns. You're also going to throw the most picks in the NFL. Look, the one thing I want to say about Bryson, I want to touch on something you said right in the very beginning. you talked about the defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers not being that good. Just so we're clear, the Buffalo defense give up 18.3 points a game. The Steelers defense give up 19.1. Yeah. They give up 0.8 more points a game than the damn Buffalo Bills. If you think Mason Rudolph, who, by the way, was almost perfect last week, 13 for 15, doesn't make mistakes, hasn't thrown a pick yet, he doesn't put his team in bad situations. His defense can hold Josh Allen to right around 20 points in this game. If they can do that, not only are they going to bank a cover, and once again, I'll get to my money line pick in just a second, but if you hold Josh Allen to 21 or less points, the Pittsburgh Steelers are in this damn football game. I know the Steelers don't average that well. They average about 17.9, 18 points a game. It's not great, but the Buffalo defense, Anthony brought up Sean McDermott. That defense is not the same defense as they usually are either. I don't think the defense is that good. I don't think people are giving Mason Rudolph enough credit. I think people are overhyping Josh Allen. The dude had to go on a magical run, get a little bit lucky at the end of the year just to get to the playoffs. I don't think they're that good. They beat Miami last week. Spoiler alert, everybody beats Miami. This is nothing new. So I don't really see what's so impressive. By the way, they were losing to Miami. They had 7 points against Miami's pathetic defense at halftime. If you think that Miami can stop this defense, Pittsburgh can stop this defense, I have absolutely no doubts about it. I'm going Pittsburgh Steelers to cover. Pittsburgh Steelers to win the game. They're going to win this game somewhere in the realm of the same thing that the Browns are going to win by, 23-21, maybe even like 19-17. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers win on a 54-yarder in the cold from Chris Boswell. It's going to come down to the kicker, and he's going to bang it through. I will say, whichever kicker it comes down to is going to make the kick. Both guys here, Tyler Bass, Chris Boswell, inside 55 in the cold. They're going to be money. I'm telling you right now. People are letting Mason Rudolph stay under the table while everyone is overhyping Josh Allen. Josh Allen gets exposed in this game. Sean McDermott gets exposed in this game. Buffalo fans hit the fan in this game. And I'm telling you right now, Mike Tomlin's going to be sitting there blowing that kiss laughing because he's taking it all the way to the bank, man. Look, guys, keep it safe. If you want to go Steelers money line, sprinkle it up. Most importantly, take the 10 free points. These idiots are going to let us start up the game 10-0. Thank you very much. We're going to do it. By the way, I am buying that up on FanDuel. You can get 10.5 points at -120. Damn near the same thing. And I win if Buffalo win. They have this game 23-13, 36 points, 10-point spread. So take the extra half a point, give yourself the hook, and try to cash in there. But over under in this game, guys, 36 points. We're going to kind of pass on that. We all kind of said how we feel about this game, but I do want to ask you guys about touchdown scores in this game because obviously not that high scoring of a game, but there's 3 of us. We're all saying somewhere in the realm of low 20s, maybe upper teens here. So going to be a few touchdowns. Bryson, taking a look here at the guys on the board. I know you brought up Josh Allen. Is he your guy?
I think he is. I mean, like I said, he leads the league in touchdowns. He is one of the best running quarterbacks in the NFL. He's a tank. And with no TJ Watt, I don't see the Steelers being able to contain him in the pocket. He's going to have a chance. Even if he just isn't pressured, he's going to see a running lane. He's going to take it. I think Josh Allen's an easy bet here. You remember when we was like, Jalen Hurts every week, touchdown, bet it. No matter what the odds are, you take Jalen Hurts touchdown. That's how I feel about Josh Allen right now.
Okay.
Hey, I'm looking at someone else on that Bills team right there. It's a little bit harder to take him with Dawson Knox being back in the lineup, but he still has been banged up. You know, he's only been back 1 week, and even in that game, you can tell he's grabbing at multiple body parts. Like, it looks like the dude just needs some time to honestly sit in an ice pack for a couple days and recover right there. I'm looking at Dalton Kincaid right there. He has quickly turned into one of Josh Allen's favorite targets, especially in the red zone. Such a big body out there. He can really just kind of out-muscle guys out for the freaking football there. He's a big target for Josh right there. I could see him scoring, they're in the 5, a little slant right up the middle. Seems where he loves to find him. Waltzes his way right there for a touchdown. At those odds, I think you have to at least take a shot, just a little sprinkle on him right there, because at plus 360, this guy's way better than that.
These disrespectful mofos got Josh Allen, James Cook, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis before a Pittsburgh Steeler? You got to be kidding me, man. Have you watched this run game lately? Have you seen them run over every single body that gets in their way? You're giving this Bills defense, DraftKings, everybody, way too much credit. These boys can't stop nobody. And you know what? I am going to go with Jaylen Warren to score a touchdown in this game. I'm also going to go with Najee Harris because they're both in the 200s or the 300s. So if you get one of them, you're going to cash in. One of them has to score if Anthony and I are going to cover 10 points here. So I'm going to do that. But I'm going way, way off the books here. I do like Pat Freiermuth to get in anytime, the tight end, but he's been a little bit beat up lately. He's plus 600. That doesn't make sense to me in a game against Buffalo, who are kind of susceptible to tight ends. So I don't hate that pick, but I'm looking right here, plus 1,000 odds. You can find this all the way to plus 1,400 odds. I'm going Mason Rudolph. Bryson wants to laugh at me. It's all good. Mason Rudolph, anytime touchdown scorer. Look, man, you talked about Josh Allen. I think Mason's going to do that here. This, to me, is Mason Rudolph's come-out party. He's been getting warmed up. He's starting to feel himself as the guy. He's trying to make a case. No better way than getting your team hyped up than saying, you know what? F it, I'm going. He's a big Ben Roethlisberger, big body. He can take a shot. He can lay somebody out. I think Mason Rudolph right around, the 5-10 yard line looks nothing. No one's going to be spying Mason Rudolph in this game. I just don't see how you waste a defender on that. And that's why Mason Rudolph runs it right up the middle. It's going to be ugly and slow as hell, but I think he's going to find a way to get in. Or honestly, it could be a quarterback sneak, just like Josh Allen, tush push, Jalen Hurts, 1 yard line. Once again, big enough body that I think he gets in here at plus 1,000. There's just no way that I can leave that number on the board. So I have to take a shot there with Mason Rudolph. Good luck to you guys. A lot of fun ones there. A lot of value on the board in that game. Should be a fun one. But time to jump on over to the afternoon game on Sunday. The Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, a lot of people surprised that they're even in this position. Don't think they deserve to be in a game with the Dallas Cowboys. They're 7.5-point dogs on the road, getting just over a touchdown in Dallas, where Dallas played their best football. They average around 40 points a game, depending on, who they're playing, but nobody wants to say that. So, Bryson, you look here, man, 7.5 points for the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love, you're either all in on Jordan Love or you think the dude's a fraud. How you feeling about this one? Is 7.5 points enough for you to take the dog?
This is so tough because I feel this going one of two ways. I've heard a lot of people say this. It's either going to be Packers are going to win in a close game, like a game-winning field goal, or the Cowboys are going to blow them out. And I'm probably leaning more towards the Cowboys blowing them out. There's a couple of reasons why. This is the youngest team in the playoffs, the Green Bay Packers are, especially on offense. They have kids all over the field playing in their first playoff game. They have to go to Dallas, where you mentioned, Riggs. They put up damn near 40 points a game at home, and their average margin of victory at home, 21.5 points. They blow teams out in Dallas. Dak Prescott plays his best football there. CeeDee Lamb's been on a tear all season. This Packers defense has been extremely underwhelming all season. They are 10th in the NFL in points allowed, but they are 28th in rushing yards. And this Dallas team, they haven't run the ball well all year. But I think this is a game where Tony Pollard gets it going, makes it easy on Dak Prescott. He's going to get the pressure off them. This Packers defense, they don't get to the quarterback all that well. They don't really cause turnovers. And this is a game where Dak Prescott's going to be pretty comfortable all night behind the 8th best offensive line according to Pro Football Focus. I don't see them getting to Dak very often. I think Jordan Love's going to be fine. I'm a bigger fan of Jordan Love than most people. I think he's been very good this season, and I think they do have their quarterback of the future in Green Bay. But this is a game where young quarterbacks they have to go through their lumps. Every young quarterback has one game in the playoffs where they just really struggle. And against this Dallas defense, I think it's going to be that game for Jordan. So as much as I hate taking the Cowboys and I hate the 7.5 points, I'm probably going to lean towards Dallas in this game.
Y'all are sleeping on Green Bay. I mean, I feel like the losing streak that they had earlier in the season. Actually, I have an article about this. Riggs and I each wrote an article, but for each one of the games, I got NFC games, AFC games. Make sure to check that out on our website. You can find out a little bit more about each one of my picks there. But, man, Green Bay, last 4 games, they've been heating up, and it all starts with that man, Jordan Love, and also with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones has been kind of absent all season. He's been hurt. Injury bug has gotten around that running back room all year long. It's been really tough. I feel like earlier in the year, Jordan Love was required to throw the ball 30, 35 times a game. So much of the offense was relying on his shoulders. It's a lot for a rookie quarterback to take on. I feel like that's where we saw some of the struggles. But Aaron Jones has been cooking. He's been heating up. Last week, he had 22 carries, over 100 yards there. If he's able to have a little bit of, add a little bolster to this offense where Jordan Love only has to throw the ball, let's say 25 to 30 times in that realm, I think they have a really good shot to win this one. Jordan Love over his past 4 games, 9 touchdowns, 0 picks. It looks like he's figuring out how to play offense there in Green Bay. Overall, the offensive unit's really starting to come together. And as for Dallas, I feel like this game's going to come down to a questionable coaching decision by Mike McCarthy, very similar to last year. This is his former team coming back. He was a head coach there for 12 seasons. Almost all of his NFL career there he spent in Green Bay. So for him, this game comes down to what he can do as a coach to win this game, not what his players can do to win the game for him. It's the other way around because that's just how his mind works as a coach. I see that really coming back to bite him in the ass here. I'd see a very similar situation. You come down to these late game situations where maybe it makes sense to punt, maybe it makes sense to kick a field goal. He keeps the offensive unit out on the field, really cost him a game, cost him a chance to continue in the playoffs. I just don't have any faith in this Cowboys team when it comes to January, February football. The demons of playoffs start to come back and haunt this team, and until they prove otherwise, the demons will always be there.
Anyway, you're going money line.
Yeah, I would go money line in a heartbeat. Look, I think beyond my hatred and my skepticism for this Dallas team, I truly do I think that Green Bay is being slept on. They kind of snuck by with that last draft, that last playoff pick right there. No one really was talking about them come week 17, week 18, but they're here and they're here for a reason to look out for Green Bay.
That's the Giants fan in you.
Yeah, you're probably right. He out here talking about in a heartbeat. Damn, boy. Hey, look, I like the confidence. And look, guys, I am the first one to throw Dak Prescott under the bus before anybody else, okay? Now, with that said, I have had so many up and downs on Jordan Love. Every time I think the guy sucks, he plays great. Then I go, I told you, and he plays great. And then all of a sudden, the dude sucks, and we're all like, okay, that's it. It was fraudulent. We were right. We were a couple of weeks off, but we knew it was coming. And now all of a sudden, like you mentioned, he's good again. And I just don't know which guy I'm going to get. But that's how I feel about Dak Prescott every damn game. I don't know which Dak Prescott I'm going to get. I don't trust Dak. Anthony mentioned it, under the lights. They all Dak wants to be the hero. McCarthy wants to be the hero. Everybody thinks that they're this big, tight-knit group. I think they're a very selfish football team. They don't play for each other. If things start to not go their way and they get behind in this game, expect them to not be in a huddle, having a conversation like Mahomes would be with his guys, they're all going to be over there pouting, throwing their own fits, trying to be the hero, and they're going to run themselves into the ground here. This Green Bay team, they play like a football team. I love how they play football. LaFleur is clearly the better coach in this matchup. Now, obviously, if you look at the running back room, yeah, okay, fine. You got to give it to the Cowboys. Receiving units, got to give it to the Cowboys. Quarterback, honestly, I think it's a hell of a lot more 50-50 than anybody wants to say it is. Jordan Love, to me, when he's playing well, is just as good as Dak Prescott. You guys all want to, okay, I got to keep it going. Y'all want to suck off Dak Prescott. It is what it is, and I don't think you should be doing it. So that's just my opinion. Everybody puts him up. He's not up here. He's not a top 3 quarterback. He's not the MVP. Get him out of those conversations. Everybody wants to leave him up there. He's not that guy. He's going to show you again that he's not that guy. And by the way, it's the same situation with the Steelers and the Bills. If they go out here and win this game, and they, like Bryson said, they win by double digits, they kind of kick the crap out of them. Honestly, I better not be hearing, told you, he's the GOAT. That's the guy. That's what he's supposed to do. He's playing a Packers team that, to be honest with you, in my opinion, they're actually like the worst team in the postseason. It's between them and the Bucs. Like they shouldn't even really be here, but they're here. They got here magically. So I think they should win. I'm not going to go as far as Anthony. I'm not going to go money line here. I am happy to take 7.5 points. I think the Cowboys win this game by 3 or 4 points, maybe by a touchdown. I have a tough time saying more than 7. So I'm going to go with the points and the Packers. I think Jordan Love has another good game. You mentioned he might be the future in Green Bay. If he is the future in Green Bay, I think this is a game right here that he's going to show us he's the future in Green Bay. So I'm willing to take the points here, and I do think the Dallas Cowboys are on upset alert. Now, we don't have time to talk about the over-under, but we do have time to talk about our favorite touchdown scorers of the game. You guys can go ahead and kind of mention here if you think it's high scoring or low scoring along with your touchdown scorer. But CD Lamb minus 185 to score a touchdown. There ain't no way in hell I would take that unless you want to go him to score and Cowboys money line in the same game parlay. That's the only time you can do that. So let's leave CD Lamb off the board. Anthony, who's your favorite guy here?
Yeah, I'm looking at Green Bay. I've been talking my shit about Green Bay the entire year. I really do believe in this team. I believe in this offense. I'm looking at Jaden Reed right there. This dude is freaking explosive. He reminds me a lot of Addison over there in Minnesota. I feel like these guys play very similarly. They're two like a little bit smaller guys, but their speed is just phenomenal. The route running is off the charts. This is their big play threat downfield. Watson is going to be their more go-to guy, but if they're looking to throw the ball deep, if Jordan Love is looking to really air it out here, which he definitely can do playing there in Dallas, that dome is freaking built for it. I'm looking at Jaden Reed to be the recipient of that pass. He's been doing it all freaking year long, and in this current stretch where Love has been playing good, the offense has been clicking, he has become one of his 1-2, favorite targets out there. At that value, I absolutely love Reed.
Bryson?
I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks. He's second on the team in touchdowns, and his last 3 straight games with a touchdown. I think this is going to be one game where CeeDee Lamb and Jair Alexander for the Packers are going to be up against each other probably all game. And the rest of that Packers secondary, it's not great. And this could be a game where Cooks sneaks past the guys in the red zone for a touchdown.
I am going to go with a Dallas Cowboy as well. I'm going to go Jake Ferguson anytime here at plus 130. You can find him up to plus 165. Really like this pick here. He's been a little bit sleepy for the Dallas Cowboys when it comes to end zone touches. I can't lie, but never write this guy off. All eyes going to be on CD Lamb. When the eyes aren't on CD Lamb, they're on Brandon Cooks. So I'm going to go with the next option. I'm going to go with the quick guy, quick route, big body boy. Give me Jake Ferguson. If you guys haven't noticed yet, I love me a damn good tight end with legs and a big body. And that's what he's just another one right here. Jake Ferguson anytime. So there you go, guys. 1, 2, 3, plus 130, plus 165, plus 165. I think 2 of those guys are definitely going to make it in the end zone in this game. So best of luck to you there. Jumping on over, man. We got a fun one here. The night game on Sunday night. The Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams. To me, this might shape up to be the best game of the weekend. LA Rams, Sean McVay's got his boys on a heater. They're coming in. They're 3 to 3.5 point dogs, depending on the book you're looking on. Detroit Lions, everybody, to me, this is America's team. It's no longer the Dallas Cowboys. We all want to see the Detroit Lions win. Dan Campbell succeed. We all were pissed off when that lineman touchdown got called back. It's kind of like we're all like secretly rooting for the Detroit Lions, even if it's not your team. I do feel that way. But Bryson, you look here at the LA Rams, man, they're as hot as can be, and they're getting 3 points, 3.5 points. Are you going to leave that on the board?
I'm going to take the Rams to cover in a losing effort. I think it's going to be a 2-point win for the Lions this game. It's going to be really close. I love both these teams. I love everything both these teams are made of. My favorite part about the Rams is you see all these teams like Dallas and Philadelphia. You see all these teams who put together these like all-pro teams to try and make it here. Name 5 players on the Rams. You can't name more than 5 players on that team, and they earn their right to be here. Sean McVay, this is probably his best coaching job I've ever seen out of him. It was phenomenal. Wow. But this Lions team, I think they're built for this. I know they've had their struggles and their ups and downs, especially against good teams in high pressure situations. I think that loss to the Cowboys was them showing the world they can do it. They can win a big playoff game if needed. I know they lost it. They probably should have won, but there's so much about this Lions team I love. They have weapons all over the field. Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of my favorite players in the entire league. They've got great running backs. The defense, while it hasn't been great all year, they are number 1 in the NFL in pressure percentage, and they get to the quarterback a lot, especially with Aiden Hutchinson. I think this is going to be a close game. It's going to come down to a game-winning field goal by the Lions, I think, in a probably the best game of the weekend with the best storylines, like you said, Riggs.
Anthony,
I'm right there with you. Man, I'm right there with you, Bryson. Honestly, personally, I'm going to be staying off the spread for this game. If I had to lean one way, I'd probably lean with Detroit because, like you said, Bryson, this team has been preparing for this game. They're, Dan Campbell and the boys are going to come out and tell you that it's about, it's always the next week. They're always looking at the next week. They're not focused on playoffs. Look, this was circled on their calendar the entire year. This is going to be the first test for this team, and it's a good first test because this Ram offense is just flat out scary. I mean, to think that an offense with Cooper Kupp, and he's not even the first target for Stafford, over there, it's freaking ridiculous. Puka Nacua, you have to start putting them up there at 1 or 2 receiver in the league. Like
offensive rookie of the year, boy.
And I think he should be better than that. I honestly feel like this dude should be a considerable mention for offensive player of the year because this guy is getting around 10 catches a game. The ball is always – everyone knows the ball is coming to him, and he's still having these fantastic performances out there. I just can't bet on the spread for this game. I want to sit back. I want to watch this one, fully enjoy it. I'm going to be trying to make my money in this one on the spread. I mean, on the spread, on the money line. Let me restart that. I want to make my money on player props because I think there's going to be touchdowns flying each way. I also love the over for this one. Riggs, how do you see this one shaping up on the spread, money line? Do you see any one of these teams having a clear, advantage over the other one? What are you seeing here?
I think the clear advantage here is that the Rams are getting 3.5 points in a game that should be a coin flip football game. That's my problem with this game. I'm with Bryson, though, with the same exact logic. By the way, guys, most books you can find the Rams at 3.5. I'm taking the 3.5, but I'm not going money line here. I'm also not going to go Detroit Lions money line, but I do lean them to win the game because you mentioned it already, Anthony. They've had this one circled. This is the Jared Goff, F you, I'm better than Stafford game. And I do think that he's going to show up and say, watch this. Now, the reason I'm not going money line is Jared Goff scares the living piss out of me. I don't know if he's going to have a great game or he's going to throw 3 picks trying to be a hero. He's going to get too mentally into this game and he's going to choke. That scares me here. My most confident pick here, and it's not even close. I love the Rams with 3.5 points. I think it's a close game. I think you have to go with that. And by the way, we're not going to do a touchdown score here. We're all going to squad ride. We're going Puka Nacua anytime to score a touchdown in this game. Just ride that one to the bank, guys. It's plus money. That's freaking ridiculous in a 51.5 point game with a guy that scores every single game. So Puka Nacua anytime. We got to move on forward here, though, guys. So we're going to wrap this up in the next 7 minutes. And we got one more game to get to here, and it's a fun one. The Philadelphia Eagles, the team that can't beat nobody. They can't even beat the damn New York Giants. Shout out Anthony Hirsch. And the Eagles here, they're on the road, 2.5 to 3 point favorites, depending on where you're looking. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that boy Baker Mayfield, he won the division. They picked him last. He finished in first in Baker fashion. Really get along with his team. Him and Mike Evans look good. Rashad White looks good. Anthony, 3 points here with the home team. Are you taking it?
It kills me to do it. It absolutely kills me to do it. But the Eagles will find a way to cover the spread and win this one. I'm not as high as you are on Baker, like flat out. You've been high on Baker all year long. I just don't see it. Like the dude puts up questionable numbers each week. I think they are the beneficiary of having one of the easiest strengths of schedules in the league, the weakest division by far in the NHL. I mean, in NFL every single year. This division is just garbage. I just don't see it here. Eagles, look, I know there's a lot of stuff going against them. We don't really know what Hurts is looking like. We all saw his finger. That was disgusting. I don't know how he's going to be throwing the football. Even if he can't throw the football once, I do believe that him on the ground, this running game, just the mentality of this Eagles team, they're going to bounce back. It's a really good spot to do it, a really good get-right game for them. Look, Tampa Bay, they finished with the worst record of playoff teams getting in. They don't impress me at all. Offensively, yeah, they have a little bit of firepower, but it's super inconsistent. We don't know which Baker we're getting each week. We don't know which defense we're getting week in, week out. I'm going to go with the Eagles here. It freaking pains me to do it, but I'm going to lay the points with Philly.
I'm going to go really quick here. I'm going to go really quick and let Bryson go in a little bit more. I'm going Philadelphia Eagles minus 2.5 points. Don't look back. Put the damn bet in. It is what it is. Baker Mayfield, I've defended you to the end of the world here. Anthony already called it. I'm happy that you got here. This is a mismatch here. 3 points is ridiculous. Philadelphia Eagles, if they weren't on a losing streak, they would be 9.5-point favorites in this damn game. I'm not going to overthink this game. If Jalen Hurts does me wrong, I'll be so damn happy for my boy Baker Mayfield. He can keep my $100 or $50 bet. I don't give a damn. You can have it. I'm going Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not overthinking this. I genuinely believe this right here. Anthony said it was the Steelers. To me, this is the easiest spread of the week. Give me Philly minus 2.5.
So you guys are probably being smart with your picks, and I'm probably going to either look like a genius or the dumbest person on earth. But I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. The Eagles, not good on the road. Eagles haven't been playing good football, but the biggest thing for me with fading the Eagles here, they are so injured. Jalen Hurts, it's not just his finger. His entire lower body's injured. Can't run the football. He's not even looking to run the football right now. A.J. Brown's hurt. That defense is not only hurt, it sucks. It's a bad defense. They are 31st in the NFL in passing defense, 30th in scoring defense. And if there's one strength to this Tampa Bay team, they are one of the best run defenses in the NFL. I think they're going to make life a living hell on this Eagles team. I don't know if Tampa Bay wins this game. I think they keep it closer than people think. I think Baker's on a heater right now. He's looking to prove the world that the Browns made a mistake by getting rid of him, by winning his game, and hopefully the Browns losing theirs. I think Baker Mayfield's going to go off in this game against a horrendous secondary, and the Eagles they're too banged up. I know it's probably the dumb pick, but I think there's too much going right for Tampa Bay and too much going wrong for Philadelphia.
Two things here. First of all, Baker Mayfield already showed them that they effed up. They paid Deshaun Watson 4 years, $160 million. Win or lose this game, F them. He said, screw it. I got out. I live on the beach now. Have fun in Cleveland. Second of all, I just think, man, if they lose this game, Nick Sirianni needs to get fired. They need to seriously see what they're going to do with Jalen Hurts. There's so many things that unravel here. Philly might get killed next week. I just think that they win this week. But guys, if you want to have some fun with Bryson, go with Tampa. It's not a bad pick. It's not me and Anthony here. We're going with the Eagles team that we think they are. Bryson's going with who he sees they are. You guys got to take a pick here and go with who you think is who. But really quickly, guys, your favorite touchdown scorer of the day. Bryson, go ahead and fire first here, man. I'm assuming you're picking a Buccaneer here. Who you got?
I am picking a Buccaneer. I don't know how he's plus money in this game. Give me Mike Evans. Give me the guy who's tied with Tyreek Hill for the NFL lead in touchdowns with 13 on the year, going against, like I said, in my opinion, the worst secondary in the NFL. So give me Mike Evans.
I got to go with that man, Jalen Hurts, right there. With the questions about him being able to throw the football, I think he's going to get it done with his legs. I'm not going to take it straight up. I never take touchdown scores unless they're favorites. So I'm going to be adding this to a parlay with a couple other guys, but by far my favorite touchdown prop in this one.
Bryson, you mentioned how bad this Philly run defense is, and I'm going to buy right into that. I'm going to go with my favorite buck the entire year. That's Rachaad White. Not even a question about it. Minus 125 here. I see him at minus 105, plus 105, plus 100. I love those odds. If you can get Rachaad White at plus money, you have to do it, guys. I think that even though I believe Philly win this game, I think that they still compete in this game. They score at least 2 touchdowns here. For that reason, I think Rachaad White's one of those touchdowns. So not going to overthink that one. Good luck to you guys in that one. If you guys did miss picking winners, we got a fun little parlay here for you for anyone that missed it and wants to check it out really quickly. This was it. These guys might agree or disagree with me. I had to fire this by myself. So we got the Browns money line, Chiefs money line, Steelers plus 10.5, Cowboys, Rams plus 3.5, and the Eagles on the money line. You guys might not love it, but I had to make decisions. So that's what we're rocking with there. $50 pays you guys $850. Please, if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, got it there on the bottom for you at The Sports Forum. Gonna have a big giveaway on there for you guys coming up. You're gonna have to be subscribed to our YouTube. You're gonna have to like and comment in order to win, but we're giving away some fun stuff. Also, it's going to be cash, and everybody loves cash. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Enjoy Wildcard Weekend. Going to be a lot of fun. So many great games coming up. Good luck on Saturday night with Peacock. Try to watch the game no matter how you can. Give these guys a follow. Anthony Hirsch at Anthony Hirsch 23. Bryson Owens at Bryson Owens 16. Myself at Rig Sports Talk. Follow follow the forum at Denver Forum, and we will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.